Assalamualaikum. First of all, I would like to thank for panel spent on time hearing for my presentation of final year project. My name is Muhammad Suhadi bin Omar and my metric number is S54984. My supervisor for this final year project is Dr. Rudiah Ahmad Hanafiah. I want to present on the final year project entitled Examining Malaysian Awareness Toward Conservation of the Sea Turtle. Firstly, I would like to introduce sea turtle as essential food ecosystem and the ecotourism. The trend of the plastic waste and the fishing gear has effect on the sea turtle population that require further conservation. This can look into the case found 300 sea turtle dead at Mexico, and according to the previous report, the same amount of dead in the same beach. But I would like to present on the problem statement for the study of the conservation awareness of sea turtle. The problem identified was issue the sea turtle dead and egg sold. By study of Yaakob on their report have been 9 case death of sea turtle in the Malacca beach, and the latest case was the death of the female sea turtle. This caused by identified from the illegal equipment used by fishermen for the trap encourage sea turtle also affect into this trap. The trap prevent from able sea turtle swimming in, encourage it withdrawn in the water. The next is the issue from the investigation by Sarawak Forestry Corporation found an individual arrested for selling the 652 sea turtle egg without permission according to report by the PP. The issue of 20 sea turtle deer also affect from by the large volume of waste found on the beach Bay of Bengal, Bangladesh. This research has several gaps. Firstly, it's about the location, only small number conduct in the Malaysia. Secondly, it's many use theory of plant behavior, theory of change as primarily rather than KAB theory. Thirdly, the study of sea turtle awareness towards sea turtle conservation is very limited. This is my research objective that I have divided into 4 structures, focused on the element of relationship between attitude, knowledge of sea turtle as endangered species and attitude, knowledge of endangered species and government enforcement into the conservation awareness. This part is my research question that want to investigate to what extent the attitude, how knowledge endangered species influence attitude, does knowledge of sea turtle as endangered species and government enforcement affect into the conservation awareness of the sea turtle. This part I would like to present on literature review from previous scholars on structure that were used in the study of awareness among nations on sea turtle conservation. First of all, the study would like to use the knowledge attitude behavior KAB model as the theoretical framework. This would like to use the KAB on the loop on hierarchy effect on attitude, knowledge of sea turtle as endangered species, and government enforcement on the conservation awareness of the sea turtle. This was from the study of Cafe Roser. Another is look on the main structure of the study, conservation awareness of the sea turtle. According to Lee and other on study, the awareness is about the response from the influence of the conservation service delivery method as source of information and utilized into the behavior by this was the study of the aquaculture. The component want to measure toward the conservation awareness of sea turtle. Firstly is attitude. Attitude is about the action associated with how they aware about the conservation. The study was by the florist. And a change in the characteristic to better or worse on sea turtle conservation. Secondly, is about compromise knowledge of sea turtle as endangered species. And attitude by the study of Boyman is about the individual ability to interpret of understanding of sea turtle species. Treated by the hunting and trolling, and it involved on the conservation activity forest awareness. Fourthly, the government enforcement is about the enforcement through the policy pressure of individual toward conservation awareness of sea turtle. This was studied by the zoo and other. This is the conceptual of the framework from the theory that have been used on the behavior, on the knowledge attitude behavior KAB. The measure is the attitude, knowledge of the sea turtle as endangered species. and government enforcement will direct on measure of awareness of the sea turtle conservation. And one of among the variable will measure with the other variable for measure of conservation awareness of the sea turtle. This was hypothesis construct from the previous study, shown that attitude, knowledge of the sea turtle as endangered species and attitude, knowledge of endangered sea turtle as endangered species, and government enforcement has positive relationship with the conservation awareness of the sea turtle. This part, I'm going to explain on my method used for the examining awareness of sea turtle conservation. What I'm going to do is about the designing on the quantitative survey, where the examination was to construct on collecting on the specific information from the approached individual. There was the strategy should be conducted during the process of designing the specific research question for the individual targeting. The collection of the information on the specific question will require on the knowledge of the respondent on the question that have been delivered about the awareness in their self about the sea turtle. The target population will be among Malaysian community. According to the study, Malaysian case on the sea turtle death have been intention. Another is also Malaysian community have involved with the 8 sea turtle sold for the specific location, and it might be have the relationship with among the individual, especially in the location that nearest to the beach or market. The respondent also must 18 years old, as their answer was more correct rather than under 18 years old. The data collection was distributed through the questionnaire like WhatsApp, Instagram, Telegram, and Facebook. The technique was used is for data and information that would have possible for the gathering. This technique requires further informal access from the target population that have been listed. According to the size sample that have been determined, the use of the G-power application for the determining of the sample size from the population. After conduct the calculation, they have been identified as 300 samples that are going to distribute in terms of the questionnaire. The calculation of the data that want to use for the collection data are correct from the anticipation of the previous calculation that have include non-response, incomplete response, and missing data. This was my grand chart for the planning on my work of FYP from this semester until for the next semester on the gathering of the information and completing the final research. This is my reference. It's identified from the previous study.